Hello, my name is Chris Richardson, and I am running for Congress. I am been running since 2018, and I was on the ballot in 2018 and 2020, and I was a write-in on 2022. Right now, I'm currently on the ballot. I will be on the ballot in 2024. We are going to try and give you an option other than red or blue, red or blue. The oligarchs like you to have two choices, A or B, A or B. And it doesn't matter which one you choose, A or B. It's all imperial purple. And the oligarchs are driving everything. And this is your opportunity to throw them out and start with a new party, Green Party. We have the option of turning our back on the Democrats and the Republicans and getting someone in there who's really going to do something. No more 20 years of promises that they conveniently forget to fulfill. We want to take some of those promises and make them real. We want to codify Roe v. Wade. We want to try and get health care for all, get homestead capability for people so that they can have a home to raise their children and to live out their lives. We have a very sick healthcare system right now, which is profit-driven, and so many of the problems that we're seeing are the doctors are actually cultivating the illness of the patients, and we need to stop that. We need to start actually dealing in cures, not in suppression of symptoms. And we need to have some intelligent agreement of what is healthy and work on actually getting us healthier and on top of what's going on, rather than following the dictates of the media. The media has been bought. So have many of the doctors. And it's very profitable for them to keep you sick and to keep you running around and chasing symptoms. And when you get rid of those symptoms, they'll give you another set of symptoms to chase around. No, that's not health. That is the opposite of health. We need to be a healthy organization and healthy people and a healthy government. And we've got to stop our imperialism. That's the best way I can describe it, is imperialism. We are overturning legitimate governments and replacing them with puppet governments, and then charging them into battle to fight our supposed enemies. Now, this world has gotten too small for us to have wars. And we have more ships in dry dock than we have on the seas. And we need to get out of this projection of power to everybody. You'd say, oh, well, China is our biggest threat. Not hardly. How many bases do they have outside of their borders? Probably at most 5, maybe 10. But even so, most of them are very small. And the thing is that how many do we have? 1,100. So we are surrounding everybody, waiting for somebody to sneeze so that we could paste them. And we've got to get out of that mindset. We have created just in the Middle East, since 2001, a river of 38 million refugees out of the Middle East, and that flood of refugees is going into Europe, where they're destroying the economies of Europe. And we have so many embargoes and sanctions on and restraint of trade against so many different countries that don't deserve what we're doing to them. Venezuela, my God, Venezuela has more oil than the Saudis do, and it's clean oil. You know, and it is a source of where we get vanadium from their oil. Can't do that from the Saudi oil. Can't do it from our tar sands. And yet we have blown up the Nord Stream pipeline from Russia to Europe, where they were getting good, cheap oil to run their businesses and heat their homes and cook their food. And yet now we have blown up the pipeline that they had control of the spigots for. And we ruined that source for Europe so that they have to buy our dirty tar sand at our price, which is about 7 times what the Russians were selling their oil for. And we're doing this to other people, and we have destroyed, with the Ukrainian war, we have destroyed the breadbasket of Europe. They haven't got a winter wheat crop because of our war that we have fostered over the last 10 years. We threw out the legitimate government of Ukraine and replaced it with our own puppet government, and is now considered one of the most corrupt governments in Europe and in the world. And we're doing this. We are willing to fight Russia to the last drop of Ukrainian blood. And we have sent billions of dollars worth of weaponry into that fracas, and a lot of it has gone on the black market. So we've destabilized Central Europe at the same time that we're destroying the Ukrainian marketplace. And we need those people to be growing wheat, and they aren't, because they're fighting Russia because they want to become part of NATO, which is obsolete. It should have been disbanded 20 years ago. But no, we kept it alive because we knew it would piss off the Russians. And we made promises that we would not move any closer to their borders. But we broke those promises. And, you know, what we've been doing in Ukraine is just pathetic and just not good, citizenship. And we need to reestablish the Ukraine as a productive member and stop fighting Russia. My God, they were the people who helped us get back to the space station. We were riding on their vehicles to get to the space station. Now we've gotten some commercial access, but even so, we're still not doing very much. And most of it is being run by people who are just going for the profit. And it's just kind of pathetic. China is going to beat us to the moon. Actually, India's already landed a lander on the moon. And the Russians have been trying to also. And the Chinese are landing on the backside of the moon, where most of the very interesting stuff actually is hanging out. But oh well, we're going to come late to that game. And it's just sad that we have been driven into a corner by our own greed, and we need to back off on that. We need real health care in America. We need to take care of our people. We need to start providing means by which people can live honest, hard-working lives again. We've ruined the economy with the pandemic. And, you know, there's so much that was going on behind the scenes. We developed the virology lab in Wuhan back in 2000. And that was a project called Predict, that we built the virology lab in Wuhan and around the world. We built a number of these labs, and the goals were to find the most pandemic-worthy organisms. Yeah, well, we did. And, you know, the bat viruses are fine. But there were also others, viruses that were from camels in the Middle East, MERS. You know, and we've been doing some experimentation with them. And we had gain of function that was paid for by the Congress in 2009 through 2014 in this country. And they had product from that work. And where do you store something like that? How about Fort Detrick, Maryland, and USAMRIID, the infectious disease arm of the Army, which is based in Fort Detrick. And it sat there for a while, and they tested it out in February and March of 2019, and killed off a bunch of people in nursing homes right outside Fort Detrick. And then we had the Chinese military games in Wuhan. Oh, what a great opportunity. So in September of 2019, we had already shut down gain of function in our own country. It was outlawed by Congress. Great. Good move. Problem is that now we're hiring other people to do this work and throwing it over the fence to the Chinese. In September of 2019. What happened the next month? Oh, that was the Chinese military games in Wuhan. 9,000 attendees of participants from 109 different countries. One of those countries was us. We sent over 170 participants to play in this Olympic-style games. Only thing is that our participants were not there to win medals. They were there to infect as many of the 9,000 participants and as many of the locals in Wuhan as they could. And they did. They arrived sick. In fact, other countries mentioned that they arrived, the Americans arrived sick. Now, the interesting thing was that they got off the plane and they were sick, and they went around the city and got as many people exposed to the virus as possible. And then we participated in the games. We ended up with 3 silver medals and 5 bronze. not very good showing. We came in 35th out of 109 different countries. And the results of the games are on Wikipedia. Look for Chinese military games in Wuhan 2019, and you'll find the whole kit and caboodle. Ukraine showed up with 80 participants, and they ended up with 5 gold, a bunch of bronze and silver, and, they came in 10th. We came in 35th. Isn't that nice? Because the goal was not to win medals. The goal was to infect as many as possible. And this was 6 weeks before the pandemic was declared in Wuhan. So, now, we have a pandemic which our people brought back with them and infected as many as they could at home. And guess what? If we had followed all the participants back to their home countries, we would have been able to identify patient 0 in each of those countries. But we didn't, because we didn't want to know. We wanted to blame China for the outbreak that we generated. And, it's really pretty pathetic. But I want to change an awful lot of this. Our CIA has been nasty, really nasty. We have thrown out legitimate governments and replaced them with our own puppets. And we've been trying to do that in Venezuela, and Maduro has held out against our, Guaido, our puppet, that has gone to Venezuela and tried to overthrow the Maduro government. And he's failed every time, because when the military gets involved, they say, what the hell are we doing? We have families in Venezuela. We don't want this craziness. And they go back to Maduro. They bought out some of the military generals, and the generals turned over their troops to Guaido. And they were going to liberate arms from the storage in the city and distribute the arms to the inmates at the penitentiary. Boy, that would be lots of fun, wouldn't it? But the troops that were assigned to Guaido said, no, we're not going to do that. And they went home. And rightly so. And Guaido's attempt to overthrow the government fell apart, just like every other attempt has, because they know what they have. They have a government that is tolerant to other parties and allows them to demonstrate, and if they want to gather enough support, they can overthrow Maduro. But Maduro is a good common ground for these people, and he's helped them a lot. And we threw out Evo Morales in Bolivia, and we threw them out and turned the government over to a fascist group that represented less than 5% of the population. And they savaged the native population for a year. And later that year, they threw the fascists out and brought back the socialist government. And it was all because Elon Musk wanted the lithium that was under Bolivia. They have 1/6 of the world's lithium. and he wants them for batteries so that he can sell more cars. And, you know, he was willing to throw out a legitimate government in order to get that resource where he could just steal it. Let's hear it for American capitalism. We have a lot to answer for, and we need to clean up our act. We've done some horrible things to a lot of people in the last 20 years. And the military-industrial complex has gotten almost, definitely $9 trillion out of the war, the wars that they fought in the Middle East, and probably closer to $10 trillion worth of military aid that they've soaked out of our blood. You know, we need to stop this. We could have had health care and free education for everybody. And the thing is that education is a lifelong journey. And yes, we do need people to hang sheetrock, and we need people who can drive nails, and we need people, but the thing is that it doesn't have to be a dead end. If you are interested in an area, go study it. And, this is the thing. We have to be intelligent enough to work with what we have. And let's move forward. I want to see us actually accomplish a lot of the things that have been promised and never delivered. The Democrats have promised, all kinds of things, and we've never seen it. They had the ability to codify Roe v. Wade, and they didn't. They allowed it to be crunched by the Republicans, which was, and they've gone after the Supreme Court now. We have the best government money can buy, and we need to stop that. Okay, well, I hope that you'll at least consider me for the election coming up in the 24th, 2024. I am going to be on the ballot in the primary. We'd really like to see the primaries go away. They're really just a filtering mechanism for, getting rid of your choices. We want to see ranked choice voting where all of the candidates are on the page and you choose your four top ones that you're interested in. No spoilers. Everybody gets to vote. And the will of the people is a lot clearer than one vote, one candidate. That's ridiculous. And ranked choice voting has been done in Europe. It's been done in Massachusetts. It's done in Maine. It's been done in San Francisco. It's been all over the place, but not in this state. We had Jerry Brown veto it. We had it almost ready to go, and Jerry Brown vetoed it. Well, it's time to change. We need ranked choice voting in order to listen better to the people. Please consider me in the primary coming up, and let's make it the Green Party and whoever else is going to be running, and we'll redesign this part of California and make it a workable state. Okay, well, thank you very much, and we will hope to see you at one of the libraries in October. Take care. Bye.